Free.
Free.
A trouble-free journey.
Duty-free cigarettes.
A salt-free diet.
They live in the house rent-free.
Free agent.
Free agent.
Free and easy.
Free and easy. The free and easy atmosphere of the local pub.
Freebase.
Freebase.
Freebie.
Freebie.
The company paid for the minister to fly out to Australia on a freebie. The company paid for the minister to fly out to Australia on a freebie.
A waiter was handing round freebie glasses of wine.
Free birth.
Free birth.
Freebooter.
Freebooter.
Freeborn.
Freeborn.
Free collective bargaining.
Free collective bargaining.
Freedom.
Freedom.
People here like their freedom and privacy. The rights and freedoms of citizens.
We do not have the freedom to do just what we like.
The freedom to vote.
Tighter security measures are restricting our freedom of movement.
The First Amendment guarantees freedom of expression.
He thinks children have too much freedom these days.
The wheelchair gives him the freedom to go out on his own.
Tracksuits are designed to give you freedom of movement.
The prisoner was recaptured after only 48 hours of freedom. The contraceptive pill gave women freedom from the fear of pregnancy.
The new satellite TV channels offer viewers greater freedom of choice.
Freedom fighter.
Freedom fighter.
Free enterprise.
Free enterprise.
Freefall.
Freefall.
The spacecraft is now in free fall towards the Earth.
The free fall in housing prices. The economy is in free fall.
Free floating.
Free floating.
A free-floating exchange rate.
A free-floating currency.
Free phone.
Free phone.
Free for all.
Free for all.
The free-for-all of sexual activity in the 1970s.
A controversial penalty decision sparked a free-for-all at the end of the match.
Freeform.
Freeform.
Freehand.
Freehand.
Freehold.
Freehold.
They bought the freehold of their house. A freehold property. The property will be sold freehold.
Freeholder.
Freeholder.
Free house.
Free house.
Free kick.
Free kick.
Freelance.
Freelance.
She works freelance from home.
He's freelancing for several translation agencies.
Freeloader.
Freeloader.
Free love.
Free love.
Freely.
Freely.
The country's first freely elected president.
EU members are allowed to travel freely between member states.
In France, he could write freely, without fear of arrest. We went outside so that we could talk freely without being overheard.
She was breathing freely.
If your muscles are tense, blood cannot circulate freely.
The injury prevented him from moving freely.
Information is freely available on the internet.
They freely admitted using the drug.
She gave freely to charity.
Freeman.
Freeman.
Free market.
Free market.
A free market economy.
Free marketeer.
Free marketeer.
Freemason.
Freemason.
Freemasonry.
Freemasonry.
Freemium.
Freemium.
Free pardon.
Free pardon.
Free period.
Free period.
Free phone.
Free phone.
Free port.
Freeport.
Free post.
Free post.
Free radical.
Free radical.
It is thought that free radicals can damage cells.
Free range.
Free range.
Free range eggs.
Free running. Free running.
Free school.
Free school.
Free sheet.
Free sheet.
Freesia.
Freesia.
Freestanding.
Freestanding.
A freestanding bookcase.
The modules can be offered as freestanding courses.
Freestyle.
Freestyle.
The 100-meter freestyle. Freestyle wrestling.
Freethinker.
Freethinker.
Free-to-air.
Free-to-air.
Free-to-air television coverage of rugby league matches.
Free trade.
Free trade.
Free verse.
Free verse.
Free vote.
Free vote.
Freeware.
Freeware.
Freeway.
Freeway.
The Central Freeway.
Free wheel.
Freewheel.
Freewheeling.
Freewheeling.
A lot of the girls envied me my independent, freewheeling life.
Free will.
Free will.
He came of his own free will. Freeze.
Freeze.
The lake had frozen overnight.
I think I'll freeze that extra meat.
Tomatoes don't freeze well.
The water pipes are frozen.
Do you think it'll freeze tonight?
I nearly froze to death watching that football match. The government has been forced to cut spending and freeze public sector wages.
The court froze their assets.
I froze and listened. Someone was in my apartment.
She froze with horror.
He froze the picture on the screen.
I heard his scream and felt my blood freeze.
Why did you freeze me out?
The lake has frozen over.
I wouldn't know what to say. I'd just freeze up. A freeze on pay rises. The government have imposed a freeze on civil service appointments.
Freeze dried.
Freeze dried.
Freeze frame.
Freeze frame.
Press the freeze frame button.
Freezer.
Freezer.
Freezer compartment.
Freezer compartment.
Freezing.
Freezing.
It's freezing in this house. Can't I turn on the heating?
We were freezing cold in the tent last night.
Freezing fog.
It was well below freezing last night.
Freezing point.
Freezing point.
Alcohol has a lower freezing point than water.
Freight car.
Freight car.
Freighter.
Freighter.
Freight train.
Freight train.
French.
French.
An excellent French wine.
How do you ask for directions in French?
French bean.
French bean.
French bread.
French bread.
French doors.
French doors.
French dressing.
French dressing.
French fry.
French fry.
French horn.
French horn.
French kiss.
French kiss.
French letter.
French letter.
French loaf.
French loaf.
Frenchman.
Frenchman.
French plat.
French plate.
French pleat.
French pleat.
French polish.
French polish.
French stick.
French stick.
French toast.
French toast.
French windows.
French windows.
Frenchwoman.
Frenchwoman.
Frenemy. Frenemy. The office is full of frenemies.
Frenetic.
Frenetic.
She rushes from job to job at a frenetic pace.
Frenetic.
Frenzied.
Frenzied.
A woman was stabbed to death in a frenzied attack on her home tonight.
Frenzied efforts to find a solution. Frenzy.
Frenzy.
A frenzy of religious feeling.
The women were screaming and in a frenzy to get home.
Doreen had worked herself into a frenzy.
A frenzy of activity.
A selling frenzy.
The film put America's moviegoers into a feeding frenzy.
Frequency.
Frequency.
The frequency of serious road accidents.
The higher frequency of diabetes in older people.
Side effects from prescribed drugs are being reported with increasing frequency.
The relative frequency of fraternal twins has halved since 1950. Businesses come and go with alarming frequency. This station broadcasts on 3 different frequencies.
Dolphins produce a high-frequency sound.
The frequency range of the human ear.
Frequent.
Frequent.
Her headaches are becoming less frequent.
Trains rushed past at frequent intervals.
She was a frequent visitor to the house.
The bar was frequented by actors from the nearby theatre.
Frequently.
Frequently.
He was frequently drunk.
Fresco.
Fresco.
Fresh.
Fresh.
I'll just make some fresh coffee. The report provides fresh evidence about the way the business was run.
You'll have to start again on a fresh sheet of paper.
Ryan will bring a fresh approach to the job.
We need some fresh ideas.
Let's take a fresh look at the problem.
There were fresh fox tracks around the hen huts. The accident was still fresh in her mind.
I hope Jim and I can get back together and make a fresh start.
The beans are fresh from the garden.
Let's open the windows and have some fresh air in here. A fresh minty taste.
It's a light, fresh wine. The kitchen is decorated in fresh blues and greens.
She has brown hair, hazel eyes, and a fresh complexion.
A fresh breeze.
She always seems fresh and lively, even at the end of the day. Despite his busy day, he arrived looking as fresh as a daisy.
He's fresh out of law school.
The team is fresh from their victory over the French.
The freshness of the early morning.
The freshness and vitality of youth.
Fresh ground coffee.
I'm fresh out of beer. Will you take a cola instead?
Freshen.
Freshen.
I'm going to buy some white paint to freshen up the bathroom walls. The waitress freshened our coffee.
Fiona's gone to freshen herself up. Fiona's gone to freshen herself up. Fiona's gone to freshen herself up.
Fresher.
Fresher.
Fresh-faced.
Fresh-faced.
A fresh-faced youth.
Freshly.
Freshly.
Freshly ground pepper.
Freshman.
Freshman.
Fresh water.
Fresh water.
Freshwater lakes.
Freshwater crabs.
Fret. Fret.
Don't fret. Everything will be all right.
She's always fretting about the children.
Men of 50, fretting that they're no longer young.
Fretboard. Fretboard.
Fretful.
Fretful.
The child was tired and fretful.
Fretsaw. Fretsaw.
Fretted.
Fretted.
Fretwork.
Fretwork.
Freudian.
Freudian.
Freudian slip.
Freudian slip.
Friable.
Friable.
Friar.
Friar.
Friary. Friary. Fricassee.
Fricassee.
Chicken fricassee.
Fricative.
Fricative.
Fricking. Fricking.
Friction.
Friction.
Having my mother living with us causes friction at home.
The usual frictions between parents and their teenage children.
His independent attitude was a constant source of friction with his boss. His independent attitude was a constant source of friction with his boss.
Putting oil on both surfaces reduces friction.
Check your rope frequently, as friction against the rock can wear it away.
Friday.
Friday.
It's Kate's birthday on Friday.
Diane won't be here Friday.
Can you meet me Friday morning? I had a terrible time last Friday. We're flying to Vienna this Friday.
Her appointment is next Friday. We got married on a Friday.
Fridge.
Fridge.
Fridge freezer.
Fridge freezer.
Fridge magnet.
Fridge magnet.
Fried.
Fried.
Fried chicken.
My brain is just totally fried.
Friend. Friend.
Jerry, this is my friend Sue.
She's always out with her friends.
One of her closest friends died at the weekend.
I met Jim through a friend.
I've been friends with the Merkits for 20 years.
Jenny has always found it easy to make friends at school.
He made friends with an old fisherman.
I'm not going out with Nathan. We're just good friends.
The friends of the Tate.
Our friends and allies around the world. She shot him a quick glance, as if unsure whether he was friend or foe. Don't worry, you're among friends.
She has thousands of friends on MySpace.
I'm no friend of socialism, as you know.
Our friend with the loud voice is back.
I never friend someone I haven't met in real life.
Friendless.
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 Friendly. Friendly.
A friendly smile. I found a great pub, good beer and a friendly atmosphere.
Why is he suddenly so friendly towards you, Charlotte? Betty's very friendly with the Jacksons. Friendly nations.
A friendly match against AC Milan.
A user-friendly computer program. A customer-friendly shopping mall. Eco-friendly washing powder.
Friendly society.
Friendly society.
Friendship.
Friendship.
The friendship between father and youth deepened. His friendship with Sam.
Her close friendship with her aunt.
A lifelong friendship.
The two boys formed a deep and lasting friendship. The two boys formed a deep and lasting friendship.
He and Bob struck up a friendship.
I could always rely on Gary for friendship and support.
The Indians have extended the hand of friendship.
Friar.
Friar.
Fries.
Fries.
Frisian.
Frisian.
Freeze.
Freeze.
Frigate.
Frigate.
Frigging.
Frigging.
Fright.
Fright.
You gave me such a fright creeping up on me like that.
I got an awful fright when I realised how much money I owed.
He was shaking with fright. Several of the children cried out in fright.
The bird took fright and flew away.
She had promised to marry him, but took fright at the last moment.
Frighten.
Frighten.
Don't stand so near the edge. You're frightening me.
She was frightened by the anger in his eyes. Computers used to frighten me, but not now.
He drove at a speed which frightened Lara to death.
Terrorist activity in the area has frightened most tourists away.
He frightened me into staying silent.
The investors were frightened off by the company's low profits that year.
Frightened.
Frightened.
Don't be frightened. We're not going to hurt you.
I was frightened of being left by myself in the house. Her father had an awful temper, and she was always frightened of him. The boy was frightened to speak. She's frightened that her ex-husband will find her.
To tell the truth, I was frightened to death.
A frightened horse.
Frighteners.
Frighteners.
Frightening.
Frightening.
Going into hospital can be very frightening for a child.
It was the most frightening experience of my life.
It's frightening to think what could happen if terrorists did get hold of nuclear materials. A frighteningly real possibility.
Frightful.
Frightful.
There's been a frightful accident. Her hair was a frightful mess.
Frightfully.
Frightfully.
I'm frightfully sorry about the delay.
Frigid.
Frigid.
The guard looked at us with a frigid stare.
The frigid air.
Frill.
Frill.
She was wearing a white blouse with frills at the cuffs.
It was just a comfortable flat with no frills.
We supply basic no-frills tractors at low prices.
Frilly.
Frilly.
A frilly skirt.
Fringe.
The fringe.
A fringe production. A comedian who was a great success at the Fringe.
A tall girl with straight brown hair and a fringe.
A small group on the fringes of the art world.
Nina remained on the fringe of the crowd.
He used a party conference fringe meeting to defend terrorism.
The environment is no longer a fringe issue.
A fringe religious sect.
A line of trees fringed the pool.
Fringe benefit.
Fringe benefit.
A competitive salary with fringe benefits will be offered.
Fringe theatre.
Fringe theatre.
Frippery.
Frippery.
Frisbee.
Frisbee.
Frisk.
Frisk.
We were frisked at the airport.
The lambs were frisking around the pen.